work. I want to back up in Genesis a little bit. Here's our next text, Genesis 2, verse 7 to 8, and we'll jump back to 15. Then the Lord God formed the man of the dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living creature. And the Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And now back to verse 15. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and keep it. Pay attention to that word, put. God is the master in this relationship. Very important that you understand this. God is the master in this relationship, and the master put the servant into the garden and told him his will, revealed his will to him. His will is to work, and that word can also be translated, cultivate, also as serve, to serve and to keep the garden. So in this master-servant relationship, we must understand the master-servant relationship today. The master's job, the master's responsibility is to give the servant everything he needs to do his will. The master is there to resource Adam, to care for Eve, to give them everything they need to do his will. The servant's only responsibility is to be faithful and obedient. Master gives everything. The servant's responsibility as a worker is to be faithful, obedient, to work, to do his job. So God created the garden. God did all that. He created the garden. He took the man from where he was and he put him in the garden. God sent sunshine and rain and the climate onto the garden. And the human is not responsible to do the master's job. The human is not responsible to be God. The human is not responsible to do what only the master is responsible to do. Humans are not designed to carry that load, to carry the master's load. And if we want to start to understand the core, I think, of stress in our lives and of sin in our lives, a lot of it is getting this master-servant relationship wrong. And there's a lot of pride in that, a lot of brokenness in that. But it's thinking that we're supposed to do the master's job, and it's forgetting that we are human, meant to fully trust our master. So here's part 2 of this work definition. Part 2 of our definition of work here. It's faithfully serving. I think do we have a slide for this? Part 2 of this definition. Maybe we don't. It's faithfully serving where the master has put you and promises to resource you. Part 2 of this definition. Faithfully serving where the master has put you here in Los Angeles and where he promises to resource you. We must be awake to, we must never forget that God cares about you. He cares about your work. He cares about what you do. He cares about your city far more than you ever could. God cares about your work far more than you ever could.